Hey, welcome to Ear for Fear. I'm Rick, and this is the podcast where we talk about scary movies or movies trying to be scary. Today, we're going to be chatting about 1982's Poltergeist. Today, we are joined by one of our regular guests, Mr. Sleepy D himself, Darren Lindsay.
How's it going?
And we have a special guest, Gennifer Del Marmol. Gennifer works with Darren, and she was kind enough to come all the way out here and do Poltergeist with us. And so welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thanks for listening to the podcast, and we appreciate it. I don't know if we got a ton of listeners or fans, but you're one, and we appreciate it. So, and you recommended Poltergeist.
Yeah, she did,
which is a fantastic movie. So
it's great,
and we haven't talked about it, and I hadn't seen it forever, so it was like totally cool. But hey, before we jump in and we talk about it, let's do a quick synopsis. The Freelings are a typical suburban family. Steve sells real estate in their neighborhood, while Diane is a stay-at-home mom caring for their three kids, Dana, Robbie, and little Carol Ann. Strange things begin to occur in the house, and Carol Ann vanishes into a netherworld where she can only communicate through the white noise of the TV. A team of paranormal investigators try to help the family, but the evil within the home is too powerful, requiring the services of a psychic in hopes of getting Carol Ann back and getting the Freelings away from the house before it's too late.
They're here.
All right, so Poltergeist, 1982. So right off the bat, Tobe Hooper directed this, but everyone thinks Steven Spielberg directed it.
Well, because he did.
Because he kind of did, right? This spanks of Steven Spielberg.
Didn't we do a podcast just recently where it was the same scenario, where it was like it wasn't actually directed by Spielberg, but it may as well have been?
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we did. I don't remember.
I thought he did, though.
It seems like a Steven Spielberg film. But Tobe Hooper, he did Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He did The Funhouse. He has the directing credit on this.
He absolutely did direct it.
But I if I was to say anything, I would say this was co-directed. Like Tobe Hooper directed part of it and Steven Spielberg directed part of it, because rewatching this, oh my God, I mean it's Steven Spielberg all over the place.
When you actually look at all of the credits going on, he's all over it. Everything. Screenwriting,
everything,
the screenplay,
yes,
the production. Literally everything.
It felt like Raiders of the Lost Ark that came out a year earlier. Mm-hmm. It sounded like Raiders of the Lost, the ghosts. Just, look, I mean, Tobe Hooper, I'm sure was there. I'm sure he did some of it, but no, this was what I read was there was a director's strike and Steven Spielberg couldn't direct it because of the strike. And I'm like, well, that makes no sense because Tobe Hooper's directing it. He's a director. Would he not be part of that strike? And then there was something about a contract. I don't know.
I thought it was because Spielberg was at the time also directing E.T.
He was doing E.T. around that same time because Carol Ann, I think Heather O'Rourke got the part, but they wanted to give it originally to Drew Barrymore. But they didn't feel that she would work in Poltergeist. But when she auditioned, he goes, "Yeah, you're my girl for E.T." So that's how she got the role for E.T. is because she read for Poltergeist.
Interesting.
But there was something about Heather O'Rourke that Spielberg, he's like, she's it.
Well, but I guess like the most adorable little blonde
so
kid.
Cute. Yeah. But I guess during the when she was auditioning, she kept laughing, and it drove him crazy. And so like she came back a few times, I think, to audition, and then finally nailed it. And I think it was, I forget what he used
he's all irritated on set.
Yeah.
Carol Ann, you're going to get a whooping. Gonna whoop your ass.
Well, you know, what was she, like 5 or 6 or something? Mm-hmm. I mean, and you got some scary stuff happening. I mean, that would freak me out.
Didn't she die?
She died in part 3. In the filming of part 3, she died. The older sister, I think her name is
Dominique.
Dominique Dunn. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was strangled by her boyfriend like 5 months later and died.
After the first one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Damn.
literally 5 months after the movie,
Jesus, man.
she was strangled like on their driveway, and she died like 4 or 5 days later in the
Good
hospital.
Lord.
And that's
Yeah.
why they had that conspiracy that the Poltergeist was,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
a
Right,
cursed
right.
It's
franchise.
like cursed or something. I don't know about you. I never thought that older sister belonged. Like, I mean, it sounds terrible,
Well-
but I felt like she just was so out of place in the movie.
Well,
like,
we're gonna get there, but yeah,
I wanted to point that out too, actually.
I thought
right?
that she
I
was
always felt
kinda,
that way.
I kind of thought she was a little bit of a biatch.
She was.
She just basically took off, you know, because she didn't want to have anything to do with
I
that.
can't
and-
deal with this.
Right, and just left her entire family
Yeah.
there. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. So before we like jump in and dissect this thing, we ask questions. We do 5 questions, and you don't know what we're gonna ask you.
Oh boy.
So let's start with the first one. Now bear with me on this first one. It's a little long. Okay. Normally the other ones aren't going to be that long, but this one's a little long. So take your time, and if you need to, think about it for a little bit to get your answer. Okay. So a train leaves Camp Crystal Lake heading towards Haddonfield at 100 miles an hour. 3 hours later, a train leaves Haddonfield heading towards Camp Crystal Lake at 200 miles an hour. Assuming there's exactly 2,000 miles between Haddonfield and Camp Crystal Lake, when they meet, which train is closer to Camp Crystal Lake?
You're going to hit me with this question?
Just fucking with you. It's not a real question.
I was like, no, I wasn't prepared for something like that.
I should have given her like a pen
Okay.
with the paper, and she's
That
she's
shit was
trying to-
funny because I had no idea he was going to do that, and
Why me?
I'm sitting there. I'm reading some stuff to refresh on some stuff on the Poltergeist thing, and I'm expecting out of the gate his question is going to be, what was the first horror movie that you, all of a sudden he starts rattling off this like algebraic equation, and I'm like, that's kinda fucked up.
I'm totally
Yeah,
fucking
you know what?
with
I was really good at math in high school, but yeah, I had to think about it. If you don't use it, you lose it.
She's already nervous to do the episode, and I throw that shit at her.
That was good.
Damn,
no,
that
that
was
was good.
funny. Yeah.
That was funny.
All right, so real questions. Now, number one, what was the first, this is pretty standard. What was the first horror movie you remember watching?
So, can it be maybe a segment of a movie that I remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I can go all the way back to maybe 5 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So my dad rented American Werewolf in London.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And, you're
a
5
great
years
movie.
old. That movie's
Yeah.
boring.
It
but
is. Yes, it's a little boring.
It's boring.
It's a slow burn. Yeah.
But the transformation scene
Oh.
left an impression on me.
Mm.
yeah,
At 5 years old, I remember it distinctly. I was terrified, but
Yeah.
fascinated at the same time. I was
Mhm.
like,
The transformation was phenomenal.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Because the same year The Howling came out, I think, and they both had transformations. And so I don't know if they were both trying to like beat the other one out,
Dude, that was like Godfather with me when I was 5.
Oh,
Yeah, I was in the room when my family was watching that, and it was that horse head scene. With
Oh, yeah.
and
I
they-
remember seeing that too.
Oh, I freaked out, man. I didn't know what the hell to do with that. Went home. I'm
See,
all
I
like, "Mom,
didn't
don't
freak
wanna
out when
I
I
don't
saw
want to go to
that.
bed. There's a horse's head in my bed. Oh,
He's screaming bloody murder.
seriously.
Buddy.
But the movie that I remember watching from start to finish, I was 7, and it was Friday the 13th,
Oh, the original.
the original.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's another great one.
Yeah.
That one, yeah. I remember watching Halloween. A babysitter was watching us. My mom, I think, went out for the night. Like it was Halloween, and she went out, and we watched Halloween, and my babysitter let me watch it. And I don't remember. It was on TV, so it wasn't like a rental or anything. It was on network TV. I can't remember what year it was. And oh my God, I couldn't sleep all night long. I thought Michael was inside my bedroom.
Oh my gosh.
It freaked me out.
Yeah.
It freaked me out.
I remember having a nightmare the same night I saw the transformation scene in American Werewolf in London, like that night. And my dad rented that movie, much to my mom's dismay. But my dad let me watch it, So
Really?
yeah.
Well, see, that kind of leads me up to one of the other questions I have because Darren had mentioned you were raised Christian. So,
Yeah.
so did your parents, I mean, if your dad rented it, did they allow you to watch like, horror movies, or did you have to be kind of like sneaky about it?
So no, my teenage years, yes, I had to be sneaky about it, but they didn't convert to Christianity until way later. So this is prior to.
Oh,
yeah.
So then after they converted or whatever, you couldn't do that then.
Yes.
Oh, so then you had to kind of be sly about it. That's interesting.
When I got my driver's license, the first thing I did, one of two things. The first thing I did was go to Blockbuster, get myself a membership so I can rent whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I did was go to Spirit Halloween because I got my license in October of 1997.
Oh, that's funny. Because you're a huge fan of Halloween, just the holiday as a whole.
And so
Thanks, Dad.
The Blockbuster membership is so that like it's not part of your parents' membership, so they'd have no idea what you were renting.
Yep. I mean, I was 17 and of age to rent a rated R movie. So
yeah.
I went down and I got myself a membership and I was able to rent whatever I wanted.
Did when you hit Spirit, did you splurge on anything?
Okay, this sounds really cornball, but Elvira was there and I met Elvira.
Are you serious?
Nice.
So
that'd be cool.
I would love to have that signature.
Yeah.
I actually do have a signed CD that I bought. I mean, it's like has like Monster Mash on it and stuff. I mean, it's her CD, and yeah, she signed it. And then I think my sister was there with me because I took my sister with me, and she's a big horror fan too, loves horror. And she bought the portrait of Elvira and she signed that too.
Yeah.
So I told my sister, I'll take your picture and I'll take my CD and I'll mount it and hang it on my wall, but I still haven't gotten to that project.
And that was when, in 1997?
This was 1997.
It's been a minute.
It's only been 23 years. I mean, she's still got time. Sure.
But that was an event. So I had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Freedom, because I had my license.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool to meet her. I always forget her real name, but
Cassandra Peterson.
It's kind of, yes. And I know, I think I follow her.
That was a wig too, I thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I follow her on Instagram.
She is one of my favorite icons. And
she's great.
Yeah. I absolutely love her.
I haven't met her. She would be real cool to meet, though.
Yeah.
She's extremely, really, really nice. And she's short.
Oh, really?
She's short in real life.
Huh. It's weird. Like, in movies and television shows, they always make people so.
Well, because the cameras are generally like a down pointing sort of up to give that impression of height.
Yeah, like Stallone or like Schwarzenegger. They're not tall, but they always look like bigger than life, like in movies.
Yeah.
I think that's funny. All right, question 3: is there a specific subgenre of slashers, ghost stories that you maybe gravitate towards more? Do you find there's one that's maybe scares you more?
Definitely the paranormal ones, the ones about ghosts and apparitions. And the thing that I find the scariest is the unknown. And, you know it's there, but you can't see it.
Oh, yes. We've talked
creepy.
about that before.
Yeah. I think a lot of people dig that, but.
Yeah.
There's a Hereditary did it, or The Conjuring did it, where it's like it's like that camera zooms in on a spot, and then it takes a little bit, and then you're wondering what's there. Is there a person standing?
Yeah.
What is that? And it you start to get like it's unsettling. It starts to.
And that's the thing with me is I totally agree with Gennifer on that. Like for me, it's the same way. I'll take a ghost sort of apparition, type of movie any day over the slasher thing. The slasher thing to me is like, well, you people could totally get away if you didn't act like dumbasses throughout the movie.
This is true.
You didn't circle back or split up or I don't know, fumble for the keys for 10 minutes. You'd probably get away.
Yeah.
You just got to use your noggin a little bit and you'd be okay. But
bad choices.
Totally.
But it works in slashers. It's that trope, right? It is.
But ghost movies, like stuff like that, to me are just far more unsettling Big,
I enjoy those more.
Yeah.
I love slashers. Don't get me wrong, but
I do too.
mean, but you know, I love the ghost stories, the haunted houses, the weird shit like that.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
because to your point, Jen, it literally it's because it's the unknown. There's an unknown element there, and if you don't know that element, then you cannot prepare for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And think in movies like The Conjuring and other movies, where you kind of see that little creepy thing in the shadow,
Yeah,
that
Oh,
freaks
yeah.
me out.
yeah, it does. The there's something that's blurry, and then all of a sudden they slowly start making the camera like where you can start. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Where you see like even just the subtlest things happen like in the background.
Yeah,
That really does creep me out.
I get tired of the jump scares, and luckily in like some of the I think the well-made ghost movies, they don't do that as much.
Yeah.
I think these other people that don't know what they're doing and they just throw out a horror movie, it's like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? Let's just do like 100 different jump scares. I'm just tired. It's played out. I get tired of that. It's just not scary to me.
Yeah.
I'll jump once or twice here and there, but that's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I almost think they did that to target a certain demographic,
They probably did. Yeah.
like just the obnoxious teenage girls. They wanted to hear them scream.
That's probably it. Yeah, you might be dead on that.
Because the amount of movies that Ryan and I went to see, movies that had a bunch of jump scares, we would be sitting in the theater and you had those obnoxious, giggly teenage girls that would just sit there and just scream out of nowhere. And thinking they were just kind of cute. And it's like,
almost maybe for attention, like, hey,
Yeah.
I screamed, yeah.
You just want to smack the shit
Yeah,
out
that
of those
drives
people.
me crazy.
Yeah.
so I guess I'm just an old fart now, but
No, Darren's the old
I'm-
fart.
I'm the old-
like junior old fart.
Yeah.
You could be the third if you want, but definitely Darren is the season, the veteran in this.
Dude, I'm gonna be 51 in 2 months.
I know. I'll be 49 at the end of the year.
Fuck.
I still got another
Damn.
year before, I join that 50 club.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Next question. Here you go. Do you have a favorite horror movie? And then follow up, what was the worst horror movie you remember seeing?
so my favorite and then the worst.
Mhm.
That's a tough one, but I want to say The Exorcist is way up there.
Oh, so yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, we can't argue that one.
Yeah.
And the worst one, I don't know, because to me, a bad horror movie is self-aware. So I think it's supposed to be bad, but maybe in a good way. But
There's some horror movies that are actually trying to be serious that are horribly bad.
Yes. Yeah, there are plenty of those.
I can think of a number of them.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I can think of a number of bad ones, but oh man,
One jump out at you? Nah.
Piranha.
Oh, the original or the 3D one?
The 3D
The
one.
3D one
Does
that
it matter?
It
well,
does.
it does. We did the Piranha.
Yeah, I know, and that's
and-
why I'm
yeah,
laughing.
And
Another one. I don't hate this movie, but Slither was.
oh, we did that one too, man.
I
See,
did listen. I listened to it.
See, that one is, to me, there's a difference. I think, and look, both of them are very campy and cheesy. I think Piranha is definitely a little more gory on the gore side. Slither is just fun for me. It's like I said, it's a campy movie, and they're not trying to be serious.
Right.
And those are the movies I love those movies. Next is say ghost stories. I love them.
And that's why I hesitated using them as the worst ones, because I can't really think of I really can't think of one that I disliked.
Really? Well, I guess that's good. I mean, you need to start watching more because there's plenty of crappy ones out there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
Dead Alive.
Whatever. That one is good in
that
its
was
own.
okay. Here's another one that
Yeah.
my sister loves this movie, but when I watched it, it didn't really click with me. Was Army of Darkness.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
See,
I just think it went back and just completely went away
See,
from.
Evil Dead. The original first one was so brilliant, so well executed, and the fact that they didn't have even a budget
No.
per se.
Right.
Is what lent to the evil vibe and feel of that thing. And then, then they got themselves some money, and then they essentially redid the
kind of
first
sort
one.
of part 2. I love. I really do like part 2. It has like the humor, that I like, and then it has some kind of cool effects, but then it still has some gore stuff. So
that's what I didn't like. See,
you didn't like the humor.
The second that they started to infuse humor into that movie, that's where it died for me.
And I think that's what the point I was making with that too is, Did
you like part 2? Because Army of Darkness is completely different than I think the other two. I mean, it still has a Sam Raimi feel, but it's more so real cheesy and real like humorish. But I mean, if you think about Sam Raimi, I mean, he hasn't, of course, we've talked about this. Drag Me to Hell. That's got humor in it. That's his style. Yeah. So I think he did in part 2 what he couldn't do in part 1 because he just didn't have the money.
But that's the problem.
Well,
in my opinion, that's the problem, is that you've established canon. You've established something with the first one. You then turn around and start infusing an element in after the fact because you couldn't do it the first time. To me, it doesn't work. And infusing that humor in at the later stage of the game, just to me was a fail.
Yeah.
And then Army of Darkness was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Like, I don't own it. I own the first 2, and I'm like, I just don't care. Like,
my sister owns it, so.
Yeah, it does. And there's a lot of people that love it. I mean, they swear by it. I just don't care for it.
I mean, like, like on the first one, that whole evil cam that would cruise around through the forest.
Oh, yeah.
That
he still does that in part 2, and he does that in some other things that he does along the way. I mean, Sam Raimi definitely has a style. So I mean, you could argue in Drag Me to Hell he did some of that. In the what is that, Ash versus Evil Dead or whatever. Not a terrible TV show, but he does it in that. He does like some a few episodes here and there, and you can definitely tell the difference between when he does them.
It's like that with Nightmare on Elm Street series. The first one to me was just scary and original, and it just really freaked me out. And then the longer that story went, the more and more they kept giving Krueger one-liners and these silly puns, and and it just.
Yeah, I think as a standalone movie, if you throw out all the sequels, but Hollywood's all about making money, so that's why they crank one out a year. Yeah. And what are you going to do to get people to come back? I got to start introducing more dialogue and cool special effects.
But there's a certain thing that gets established for an audience, with the first one, right? It's almost a nostalgia. So you expect to come back to that nostalgic feeling when you watch the next one in the series, and when a director suddenly infuses it with an element that was never there on the first one, now your nostalgia is ruined. It's a whole other thing, and I think that's what often makes people disappointed at sequels.
Yeah, most sequels.
Right.
Horror sequels, I give them a pass because I know that
right, like
about
as deep as a thimble.
Yeah, I mean, they really are. I mean, the Friday the 13th. It's like, look, part 1 was fantastic. 2 or 3 are good, and then you start to, then it just becomes ridiculous. Like, it's like, how many times can you kill Jason, and why is he still alive? All these things. I mean, so. And with the Elm Streets, it's like, and I've told you this, like 1 is a classic, but 3 is my favorite. Yeah, I love 3. I saw it several times in the theater, and I loved some of those one-liners, and I loved the special effects were phenomenal in that movie. Yeah. Not to mention
Dream Warrior one.
Dream Warriors, yeah. Not to forget, we get some Dawkins in there as well. It's like, what's an Elm Street movie if you don't have Dawkins play?
Every movie goes up about 10 notches when you have some cheesy 80s metal band,
right? Dude, Lawrence Fishburne is in part 3. I'm not sure why he was doing that, but Lawrence Fishburne.
Was he?
Yes, he's the worker in the asylum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's a young Patricia Arquette, I
think we got off on a tangent on this.
We did. That's right. Okay, last question. and then we
we totally took away.
Hey, man, we can go down any rabbit hole we want.
That's right.
All right. Last question. Is there a specific horror movie trope? Example would be like, say, death by sex or the final girl that drives you just bananas, or maybe you feel has been like overused over time.
Definitely when the car does not start.
Yeah. Yeah.
That annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah. It's like, and
The car started just fine before.
Especially in the Friday the 13th. It's like they always have like a bug, and the bug is all great. You're all driving through and we're doing this and doing that. And then now I need this to start. Yeah. I got to get the hell out of
what
here.
What has occurred when that car was running before? What has occurred?
I don't know.
It didn't degrade that much in the hour.
I know. It just cracks me up, man.
Another thing that really makes me wonder, why do people keep keys in the
on the yeah.
Why do they do that?
It's like an old school thing.
It is, and it depends on like where you live. Like if you're back, say, in the Midwest, where crime isn't what it is, say here, like in California or wherever.
Because it's a lot of farmland.
Yeah.
And so
everyone trusts each other. Yeah. It's like, it's just a thing they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're not going to lose them. You know, you put them in your house somewhere, and, you know.
It's like they never lock their, here. I mean, we're programmed to lock our doors. You know, I'm here in the house currently. You guys are here, but I'm pretty sure I locked the door when you came in. But if you go down some other state or they don't lock their doors. They don't care about that stuff.
He's going to murder us later.
No.
That's why it's locked the door.
Yeah, that's the bonus episode.
Allegedly, Donovan is in the other room. We haven't actually seen him.
Oh no, he's plotting.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I remember being at my great grandparents used to live up in Idaho. This before they passed away, and we'd go up there every summer. And they never locked anything. My great grandfather would, we would go to the store, and he'd pull down the visor, and there's his keys. It's just a different, I think it's a different time, and it's a different area.
Did it?
Did Walter White do it? Yeah. Well, I haven't watched Breaking Bad 8,000 times like you have. I've watched it once all the way through, and he's watched it like, I don't know how many friggin' times.
I've only watched it twice all the way through.
Great writing, man. Some of the best
it
writing
really
I've ever seen.
No, it is. I'm weird with television shows. Like I'll watch it once and I'm good. It's like I don't revisit television shows. Yeah. I just don't. Yeah. I don't know. It's different for me with movies.
Yeah.
I think for me it depends.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like a devotion thing. Like I gotta, like if a movie I can sit down and I can knock it out in 90 minutes. Breaking Bad, 5 seasons. How many friggin' episodes and how many hours?
16, I think, each season.
Okay, so how many friggin' hours is that? I'm
not a lot.
Yeah, I'm not devoting like
Jen could probably tell you
90
you
or 100
algebra.
No more algebra questions,
Jen,
please.
If Breaking Bad has 16 episodes, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So, anyways, that's it for the questions.
But The Walking Dead, how many seasons are we up to now?
Jesus, man. What are they?
My answer to that would be, who cares? That would be my answer to that.
Yes.
God.
I stopped at 5 because I was done with it. I was so bored with it. It just became the same repetitive crap. I think Dawn and I talked about this last episode in I'm a Hero.
You did.
And then I was watching something on AMC. I was flipping channels and then they were showing the commercials. That show looks so bad. And do they have another spinoff of that? Like they had Fear of the Walking Dead.
Yeah, Fear of the Walking Dead.
Do they have another one? Because I swore it looked like there was another television show. And
I'm only aware of the 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's another one out there.
Again, I haven't been involved in anything Walking Dead in literally forever. There's only one person left in my home.
And Shaylee still watches it.
She still watches this garbage.
Didn't he finally kill off Rick? Not you, Rick.
Yeah, no.
They didn't kill him off. Like he flew away in some random helicopter with some people.
Wasn't the idea supposed to they're going to do like a movie with him, like wherever he's at or something?
Yeah. I don't know if that's still in the works, but good God, can somebody please put this animal down?
Seriously.
Right.
Seriously. Yeah. Please stop that. Yeah.
I mean,
it looks so bad.
It's like back away slowly. Just step away.
It was cool. Like it had its run. To me, it's like Breaking Bad did 5 seasons. It ended it on top. You don't need to milk this thing, But it's money, man. It's money,
Yeah.
you know, because
Just capitalizing.
They lost Breaking Bad. They lost Mad Men. I don't know what other. I mean, it's like what else they got? They got Walking Dead, which just, you know, there's still plenty of fans out there.
Yeah.
It's like people move on, man. There's plenty of other cool zombie movies out there that you can watch.
Just
you
cool
know?
anything.
Yeah.
28 days later.
28 days. Yeah, there you go. You know. All right. So let's talk Poltergeist. You survived the. We should have like a cool name for the
questions.
like the Fear 5 or
The Fear 5.
I just that's just the
It's
top
like
of my head.
it's like one of those.
brainstorm that.
What do they do in frat houses? It's like an initiation thing, or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Thank you,
Hazing?
sir. Thank you, sir. Can I have
Like a
another?
hazing?
No, I don't know. That was from Animal House. Remember that?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That was Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Let's talk Poltergeist. Look, all three of us have seen this before. This isn't like a movie that,
Numerous
hey,
times.
Poltergeist, what's that?
Yeah.
And I think we're all in agreement right off the bat. This is a great movie.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
For
We're gonna spoil it, right?
Yeah. There's going to be all manner of
I always
spoilers.
forget to warn people. Hey, really fast before I forget, because I'm gonna forget at the end of the episode. Before we start this, is there anything you guys want to plug? I don't know, Instagram, Facebook, any websites, anything, Jen, you want to throw out? Like you want people to, I don't know.
No.
Nothing? Okay. Hey, that's all right. Darren?
Yeah.
No?
Just, yeah, no. I
No?
got nothing.
Okay.
man.
Hey, I figured,
Nope.
because I'm going to forget at the end.
Yeah. I'm not a huge social media freak.
I know you are.
You know, I had the Facebook quite a long time ago and just got so numb and just hated that.
Yeah.
So I pulled the plug on that a while ago. I only have one account, and that's like Instagram, and
Yeah.
I don't even do anything with it. And I'll stalk people
Yeah.
occasionally.
Yeah. All right.
I only have Instagram, but that's literally baby pictures.
Yes, I have seen. Yes.
Yeah.
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 So, all right, cool. That's out of the way. Let's talk Poltergeist. Where do you want to start? You want to start at the beginning?
Yeah.
This thing, you know what? It's been a while since I've seen this. This thing immediately starts up. Like immediate.
It does. That was one of the first things we after revisiting, because I just watched it again a couple of days ago, that I noticed. I'm like, wow. I mean, they just no time at all. I would say literally the first scene.
Yes.
I actually liked that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I mean, I thought it took a little bit.
No,
I mean,
it didn't. You know, it's like which reminds me of, all of us olds remember this.
Speak for yourself.
The young audience, obviously didn't grow up with this, but that was the way it was. You know, when there was no cable TV, it was, you had all those stations, right? You know, your main stations. And at what was it? 2 a.m,
Something like
I think,
that, yes.
it would sign off with with the national anthem, and then
some static
until I think 6 a.m. was when it would kick
Probably
back
that sounds
up.
about right.
I actually do remember that, even
Do
as
you?
a kid. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know when they stopped that practice.
I don't know either. Maybe when cable became big. I mean, they were like, hey, we can put programming 24/7.
Because they made that switch, right? I mean, they're like, why?
Because I would stay up Friday nights and Saturday nights. There'd be like whatever, there's to be some horror stuff on SNL. I used to watch roller derby. I used to love roller derby.
Okay, I apologize. I have never heard of it.
Roller derby?
Oh God!
Oh my gosh!
It's
man.
like, how do you describe? It's like a rink. It's like a lake.
Yeah, like a small skating rink. Picture almost like not really quite a circle, but more of like a
oval.
Yeah, like an oval. And you had women, and there'd be like, say, 5 or 6 on each team, and you have 2 teams, and they would roller skate and beat the shit out of each other.
They like body check each other.
Yeah.
Into like the chain link fence.
Seriously. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Probably fake. I mean, when you're a kid, like I thought wrestling was real when you're like, 7 or 8, and I probably thought roller derby was real, but it was fun. It'd be on like really late at night, and I'd watch this, and these women would beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
And they'd go around, and you got to check it out. It's pretty damn cool.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they still have it? I bet you they do somewhere.
Probably somewhere.
Sure,
Yeah.
you can YouTube it. I'm
Like
sure.
it was like that, and what was that? Tales from the Crypt.
Tales, yeah.
I love Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt was cool. But I would stay up super late. I'd fall asleep, and then I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and I'd have to shut I'd actually have to get up and flip the knob on the or push it in or flip it on the TV. Because
what I thought was just awesome was that, it opens up with that, and she immediately goes down there and starts having this creepy conversation with the static, and the whole family eventually hears her, and they all come down, and it's all and it all happens in like the first maybe 8 minutes?
Dude, not even that. I mean, it was like immediate. It was like literally credits were going, and I loved how they went from room to room, and there's a TV in each room, and they're showing bags of chips. The dog is going. The dog's going for meat.
Scavenger.
He's getting probably not a healthy meal, but he's eating.
Yeah.
And when you rewatch something, especially for a podcast, and you analyze it, because when we watched it before, it was more for entertainment.
Yeah.
And now you're analyzing it. What did Poltergeist jump out at you? Like what message when the movie was over, besides this, ghosts and spirits, what did it spank of to you? Like the message Hollywood was trying to shove down your throat on this one.
Don't build housing subdivisions over a cemetery without moving the bodies.
Apparently that's a common thing though.
Probably.
It probably is.
I wouldn't
say I came away from Poltergeist with any soul-searched moment or anything. Not really. Not to me.
Dan, what about you? Did anything? So let me tell you what I came, and you can agree or disagree. What was the 80s? It was the decade of excess, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
It was awesome.
The decade of awesome.
It was awesome, but it was the decade of excess.
Mm-hmm.
This spanked of greed, consumption. Yeah. That's what it spanked of to me. Why did the builder build over the top of?
Well, it cut costs and
greed, money.
Yeah.
All of these devices that they had. Consumption, man. It's like excess. We can, so we are doing it.
Yeah.
Technology is, there's probably an underlining message. Technology is not good. It's bad. I mean, the TV is this, she's somehow stuck in this, TV kind of, sort of, that's the way I took away. Within the first few minutes, we got Lay's. I think down the road, we saw Sony, NFL was on the TV. I saw Tide. I saw Ritz. I saw Cheetos.
Wow.
Dude, not only that, but they shoved Star Wars down our friggin' throats.
Okay. You know what? So Rick, you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
I wasn't even looking at that stuff when I revisited this. But you're absolutely right. There was a Darth Vader. What was that?
I noticed that too.
That was the case that you put your Star Wars action figures in.
Dude, it was everywhere.
There was that. You're right. I mean, I didn't really notice particular potato chip brands, but
at the beginning was Lay's.
Yeah.
When the one guy, I think his name was Marty, he was one of the investigators. The bag was like this. It was like some weird angle. It's like, who eats chips like that? Well, that was like, hey, Cheetos is going to give you a ton of money, so you make sure you show Cheetos.
Oh my God.
No, that's the thing. It absolutely is.
Yeah. He went into the kitchen because he was hungry after the Cheetos route. He went to the Ritz box just to get one cracker. And I'm like, well, there's Ritz. And then there was a scene where they go into, maybe it was just him because he went into the bathroom to, the whole peeling the face, and there was Clorox and Tide.
Yeah.
And they were all displayed all pretty.
Too. Right.
And I'm like, are you shitting me here?
Product placement.
Everywhere.
Oh
They shoved it. The Star Wars thing I get because Spielberg is friends with Lucas.
Right.
I know Return of the Jedi was coming out the next year. Dude, Star Wars was everywhere. What I noticed is even when they're going to move out, they're literally moving out. And in the bedroom, Darth Vader, Yoda was on the pillow, and Carrie, what was her name? Carol Ann had Luke Skywalker in her mouth.
I didn't notice that.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what kind of image. What are they trying to say with that imagery?
Dude, I don't know.
Gosh.
But they were shoving that shit. I don't know if Lucas said, hey, Steven, dude, Return of the Jedi is coming out next year. We got these fucking little Ewok. What are the hell these things are called?
Yeah.
I don't know how receptive people are going to be to it. I need you to really push this in Poltergeist.
They probably did, man.
Because it was everywhere.
Dude, I'm never going to be able to watch this movie ever again without...
You're welcome. I don't know, man. It's just what I noticed. when I was rewatching this. So I hopefully didn't ruin it for you.
No, I just I'll get over it.
You get over it?
But I am
I'm enlightened.
I am really yeah. I'm sort of paused now because that is absolutely. I just didn't really see that, but I'm rewinding it in my head as we're talking, and I'm like, God, yeah, they did.
I think I kind of picked it up when his boss was showing him, oh, you can have this, you know, you get this bay window view, yada yada, and it's like,
Yeah. Money, man, greedy bastards. Yeah.
Seriously.
Can you imagine though? Like what do big companies give to like say studios to plug something? You know, like if you're doing a new Bond movie and you throw in a BMW or
it's
big, gotta be a lot of money.
That's a big
right?
industry. And it still happens today. They're just very sneaky and crafty with how they go about it.
I think they're a little more sly.
You know, before it was just, slap you in the face with it, you know.
I don't know. Anyways, I hope I didn't ruin Poltergeist for you guys.
Totally ruined.
It's still a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I still love the movie. Yeah.
It's still a great movie.
And isn't it funny how like every Steven Spielberg, even if he didn't direct it, but he was all over it, the neighborhoods all seemed, that was like total ET neighborhood to me. Like
it does. He always makes them have a certain look, right?
They have like a Southern California.
Well, that's where this was filmed, was in Southern California.
Yeah. But all of them.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's talk the movie.
We're doing it.
After I completely I shit on Hollywood for a second. Right. So yeah, man, I mean, we get them immediately, right? I mean, you get Carol Ann talking to someone in the television, so we start to get that,
something's not right here.
Something is
she's having a conversation too. Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, she's like, I'm 5. She's like, it's obviously this thing is asking.
It freaked me out, man. Rewatching it again, going, damn, that's creepy. And then especially if you wake up and you're the parents or her brother or sister in the middle of the night, and she's sitting in front of this TV with static. Yeah,
not good.
She's done lost it.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we start to get those little things, right? Something is not right.
Yep.
Right. We don't need to dissect every single scene.
No, not necessarily.
Anything you guys want to right off the bat want to talk about, before we just kind of,
I thought the next scene was kind of funny. I wasn't sure that it was kind of weird. They had the guy, it was daytime. So it was the next day. The guy
on the bike. It was awesome.
He's got like, I don't know.
He had like
a case of beer or something.
Yeah. Yeah. What the hell? Does he not have a car?
Seriously, he's on like
that's a kid's bike.
BMX bike.
Yeah, that was never explained. Like,
what was it like? Did they do that in the 80s?
Well, BMX bikes were all
over. I had a bike like that.
But would you carry
when I was a kid? Not when I was
not an old balding man was driving around on a BMX bike with a case of beer.
Why didn't he just hop in his car?
Exactly. I didn't get that.
Because it's obviously old enough for a license.
Yeah. I mean, but it was almost like, okay, wait, are you doing that so that you can pull off the trick of the 3 kids with the remote control?
Yeah, why else would you do that? Right? What else is that all about? Like, unless he's a drunk and got his license taken away. I don't know.
And I know this is totally nitpicky and trivial, but there was like a lawnmower in the front, like just on the lawn, like
just sitting there.
Yeah, like half mowed.
Oh no, I didn't even notice that.
That was weird to me. I'm like,
I didn't catch that. On the main house, like
on their house.
Oh no, I didn't catch that
because they pan away as he's with the beer spraying everywhere, and yeah, there's just like a lawnmower, like the lawn is like half mowed, and it's just sitting there.
I didn't notice that.
This is weird. I
didn't catch that.
Maybe they're trying to like convey, because I think later on, when he is what's his name? What's the actor?
Craig T. Nelson?
Yeah.
Steve, or whatever his name is.
He's like trying to sell to.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, is that the neighborhood that's got that lived in feel?
Yeah.
So maybe they were trying to convey, by showing like lawnmowers and like a lawn that it was very lived in.
Yeah. And a lot of cars give that impression, on streets. You have too many cars. It does. It does.
It gives that.
Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause they did say that because they were basically the first house. He was literally the first house out there was their house.
Right. Okay. This is gonna be also nitpicky, but it irritated me when they're in the beer's flying everywhere.
Yes.
They're sitting down to watch their football game, right?
The Rams,
and the neighbor's frequency for the remote control
that
is,
annoyed me
and
too.
it's like Mr. Rogers football,
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers, but that's not the irritating part. Is it's like he made it a point to go over, open up the window and have this conversation with all they have to do is just change the channel on the damn TV. What's with the damn remote? All you got to do is get your
That's
lazy ass
true,
up and
right?
turn the damn channel.
That's true.
Maybe they were just trying to show the relationship of the neighbors.
That's
Yeah,
what,
Maybe
probably
maybe it was like a
establish that.
small feud
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, but I never really got the impression. Like, I mean,
it didn't really pan though,
No,
because
it
they
didn't. There was
never
no
went
payoff.
anywhere with
There was
that.
no payoff for that.
That's true. Yeah.
It just was it was meant to be some whimsical, because right at the very end of that scene, he's all like pointing it at him, like clicking it like a bunch of
Yeah.
times.
I noticed that remote only had one button.
It did. It
Those
did.
old ones
Those
did.
are the old school Zenith.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember those. Those were huge, man.
Yeah.
So maybe I was a little young for even those.
Okay, so hold on a second. If we're talking about nitpicky shit,
Let's
and we can, we have every
Yeah.
right to.
Yep.
Okay, you can't get away with this today. But in 1982, when you got a 16-year-old girl and she's going on her bike and you got 30 to 40-year-old guys and they're whistling at her,
Yeah.
dude, that's gross to me.
Okay, I'm sorry, but the mom just laughed it
Yeah.
off like I'd have been beating some ass.
You
is
could
what I'd
do
be
that
doing.
today.
No.
To even rewatching this, that's creepy to me. She's 16,
Yeah.
and you got guys that are got to be 30,
Construction guys. Yeah.
and they're hey baby, whistling that whole
Yeah.
stereotype, construction workers.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck, man?
I know.
That grossed me out, man.
And then the mom just laughs it off.
yeah.
Like, oh, that's my girl.
What I
It's
did
like-
notice, did you notice the actor that was one of the actors? You probably wouldn't remember him.
Mhm.
His name's like Sonny. Anyways, he played Billy Bear in 48 Hours.
Oh, yeah.
And he also played Billy in Predator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot he was even in that.
I all I know is that he looked familiar to
Yeah.
me and I couldn't place
Yeah.
couldn't place it.
Anyways, probably before your time. Did you ever see 48 Hours? Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, I don't think I did.
No.
No.
You might like it. I don't know if you like.
I probably would.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. It's directed by Walter Hill, which, as Darren knows, he's directed the greatest movie of all time, which is The Warriors. She's going, what the hell are you talking about?
I don't.
You've never seen The Warriors.
No, I haven't.
Oh my god! I think we should.
Before you leave this earth, you have to watch
see,
it.
You have
at
to
least,
see The Warriors
at least once.
I'll add that to my long list.
Yeah. Gotta put that on your bucket list.
Yeah, but anyways,
quite a list.
Walter Hill directed 48 Hours, but yeah, and then Predator. You've seen Predator, no?
Mhm.
Or, yeah, so he's in
Been
that
a minute,
too.
but yeah.
Yeah, he plays Billy. Anyways, I had caught that. Anyway, let's talk about the movie.
So that was a bit irritating to me, but whatever. I mean, that's a little thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna find stuff. I think in every movie there's gonna be something that bothers you.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Even it's a fantastic movie. It's a great movie. It holds up, but there's stuff.
You know what I found interesting? And I remember in high school, I had at least one or two friends whose parents were very much like those two. They're just in their bedroom smoking pot and carrying on, and like it was no big deal.
Yeah.
Right? They had the box that I think it was that like one of those old
Old cigar box?
cigar boxes.
That's a common thing, right?
Yeah.
Just to store your pot in.
Yeah, you put your pot in there,
And
you
your
got your
papers
papers, and she throws it, or he throws it to her. She's all
Yeah.
sitting there like rolling it up.
Their door
and-
was open.
Totally.
I mean, the kid,
Yeah.
I think it was Robbie rolls on up. I mean, yeah, they're just smoking away. And Robbie's young. He doesn't get it, right? I mean,
Which was kind of funny to me because on some scenes later, when obviously, they're getting ready for the day, right? And then weird stuff starts happening with the chairs and stuff.
yeah.
Later, when he comes home and she is going to show him all of this stuff going on, she's like, no, I want you to have an open mind. I want you to like remember back when you were like whatever her, I don't know exactly her saying, but I'm thinking to myself, you two were just smoking pot of the damn. I'm pretty sure his mind's open. Like,
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that tree, rewatching it, that tree looked hella fake.
Oh yeah,
Dude, it was so fake. And I get it. You got to create a scary tree.
And oh my God,
I get it, but it looked plastic to me.
That thing had little nubbins. Like every single branch was like a nubbin.
Yeah.
Like, that thing is dead. Why are you not tearing that thing out?
Well, and what does he tell the story? Well, that was, we picked this lot because of that tree, because it's supposed to like protect us or something.
The guardian.
Yeah, the guardian.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And I guess Spielberg, like his two phobias when he was a kid, like he feared trees and clowns. So that's why you got both of those in there.
Yeah, I always wondered about that clown. What kid keeps that?
Dude, that clown's gone. That's gone. I'm tossing that sucker.
Yeah, but to your point, it's true. Like I never had. I mean, I guess it doesn't just because I didn't have clowns when I was a kid. It doesn't mean that kids can't have clowns. But it didn't. It seemed out of place to me. It just
it
didn't seem right to me.
Just to be there for the sake of being
out.
there. Yeah. And I don't, man. I feel like we're like nitpicking the shit. Like,
it's okay.
Like them sharing a room. Okay, I guess. But you're this big time real estate agent. I don't know how many bedrooms you got. Couldn't the man, give the boy his own room? He doesn't want to share it with his 5 or 6 year old sister. And then what was with the Alien poster? Bullshit! You're watching Alien at 6 or 7. There was an Alien poster in the background.
I didn't even notice that.
I didn't either.
I'm like, you got all this other. Okay, I get the Star Wars stuff. I get all these other things. I get that. Sesame Street was on the door. You have Sesame Street on the door and an Alien poster in the background. Bullshit.
Oh man. I mean, to your point, it was the 80s. It was the decade of excess, and if you want your Sesame Street in this hour, and then an hour later you want to get your Alien on, you can do that.
Because I certainly was that in the 80s. My dad introduced me to horror movies, so I would watch my Sesame Street and watch my horror movies too.
So it would not be unrealistic for you to have an Alien poster and a Sesame Street poster in the same bedroom. Well, it was
all Sesame Street. I mean, my mom totally disapproved me watching horror movies at that age.
So it's possible.
It's possible.
Okay. See what it reminds me of is it reminds me of like stuff in the 80s when you rewatch a movie, and let's say I'm just going to pick a movie. Let's call it Lost Boys, and you got Corey Haim's bedroom. Why does Corey Haim have a poster of Rob Lowe on the wall? Is he into Rob Lowe? It's what happens is these set directors, they go, okay, well, what kind of posters does a teenager have? Because I gotta go buy posters, and I gotta put them up all over the room. That's what it spanks of me. Yeah. It's like, okay, what's kind of in? Okay, well, Alien was big, and then we got Star Wars, and we got Sesame Street. So let's just throw shit on.
Because you have to throw in that the pop culture.
You do
of the time for authenticity, and. Yeah, sometimes they overdo it. Obviously, in this movie,
a lot of product placing.
To me, it would be like I said, when I rewatched Lost Boys, and I love Lost Boys, and Corey Haim's in his bedroom, and he's got like some posters. I'm like, okay, yeah, you got Duran Duran. I can see you totally having that. And then you have Rob Lowe. Like, why would you have, like, I could see if it was a sister would have a poster of Rob Lowe on the wall.
I'd have a poster of Rob Lowe.
Right? Yeah.
So for you, I think your point is that there is not it's not congruent. There's not a consistency within the art and the various pop culture stuff on the walls. It's like, why would somebody who's into this have this? Because the two things are not really connected.
I mean, I say if Corey Haim is 14, go, hey, Corey, if you're at home, what posters do you have on the wall? Okay, let me go buy those. And I'm going to have Heather Locklear, and I'm going to have Duran Duran and Madonna. I don't know. I'm just
it's like so my point is like, if there's like a kid who is into, say, like metal music or rock music or whatever, okay, he's going to have a lot of rock posters and a lot of that stuff, and then he's going to have other stuff that you could understand that this kid who's into rock is also into Alien, is also into a horror movie or, but you're not going to have like Mr. Rogers poster on the wall where this kid's got Metallica on the other wall.
Yeah.
I mean,
it makes no sense.
Right.
It makes no sense to me.
Right.
Yeah. Unless he's just weird and has other interests.
Sure. I mean, I had a ton of, I would have like, I was serious, like, because I was majoring in sports, and I was in a slate, like, I would have, like, say, a LA Dodgers poster, and then I would have, who knows, whatever I was listening to at the time, and I would have movies, and I would have, I was into Garbage Pail Kids, people.
I was too.
I collected it before it even blew up. I still have them. They're up in my closet, by the way. I have binders.
I have them too.
I have binders full of Garbage Pail Kids. Darren, you'll appreciate this.
gosh.
Actually, Jen can too, because you guys are both artists and designers. I used to like go through the Garbage Pail Kids, and I'd go, "Oh, I really like this one," and I start drawing, it. Because I used to draw a lot when I was younger. I don't do it some more, these days. I just don't have the time. But I used to draw like, oh man, this one's cool, and I would draw.
That's hilarious.
But
I would do that same thing though. I would see something really cool, and it's like I would want to duplicate it by drawing it.
Yeah.
dude, totally, man.
That's kind of how you learn how to draw too.
It is.
Yeah.
Other than the one on the back of the TV guide where, remember, it had that little contest?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like a pirate.
Yeah. I remember that. I totally
Dude,
do.
we were seriously dating ourselves.
Really are.
Anyways.
I remember TV Guide too.
Yeah. So, okay.
So
where were we?
weird stuff in the kitchen is happening, right?
Right.
Diane, which is played by Jo Beth Williams, she notices the whole chairs.
Yeah.
And then Steve goes to do his thing. He comes home, and she's got like the whole kitchen.
Got it all marked out.
Yeah, she's got it all marked out. She's having a great old time. Chairs are moving on their own.
Yeah.
Carol Ann is moving on her own.
Yep. Apparently it burns. I love that. Oh, sorry, sweetie. I guess we need to wax the floor.
Yeah.
What's interesting about the scene where of the chairs where it pans to her doing her thing in the kitchen, and then she goes back and they're all stacked up. That was done in one scene.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no
they
way.
had people there ready to put those chairs exactly where they're supposed to be off scene.
Really?
And it panned that.
Interesting.
That's one scene.
Dude, that would be tough.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't that much time in between.
See, that's what I love about practical effects.
Me too.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
just can't, I mean, CGI has come a long way, but you just can't duplicate real.
No.
Right?
you
I mean,
can't.
Cannot.
Yeah.
There's something about having something, a practical effect, right there in front of the camera.
Yeah. There is.
Versus CG.
Yeah.
You know it's CG, and when the actor is trying to act and pretend like something he's interacting with something that not there, it's a lot different. The performance is different when you're performing with something that's really there.
Yeah.
CGI has its place. I get it. I've been very vocal on the podcast about how I feel about it, and it's come a long way.
Mm-hmm.
I get it with blood. I get it. If you have a lot of blood, you can't just do a ton of practical. I mean, I guess it's probably easier to do.
Yeah.
Especially when they're putting like 10 gallons of blood coming out of one person.
What is great about CGI is that it has allowed storytelling. It has allowed the capturing of a complex story in film in a way that practical effects are just going to be too expensive. And let's face it,
right.
Movies
True.
are run. I mean, that whole industry is run on profitability.
Yep.
So
right.
a movie's it could have the best story in the world, but if the analytics show that there's not a market for it, it's not getting made.
Yeah.
Because money is involved.
I hate the whole analytics when it comes to stuff like that.
Me too.
Football has become, really more so baseball has become analytics, where before it's like you throw 9 players out there and they all have their space out in the outfield. And now they move people. They take 5 people and they move them to one side because this batter is prone to hit it this way. I don't know, man. It's weird watching it these days.
I know.
And I hate analytics. Like, I get it. I get that. I'm not in a position. I'm not some studio head. And I'm like,
right. When you're dealing with millions, you unfortunately you can't ignore the analytics, because if you're off, if you don't understand the market and you just go in blind, it's a crapshoot. And when you're dealing with that much money, you can't afford to lose that money. So you have to rely on those analytics. But what CGI did was it allowed for the telling of these more complicated stories,
Right.
and to put those out on film. It's just unfortunately that, you got good CGI studios and you got bad ones, and the bad ones, when like Scorpion King.
Oh God, I never watched that with The Rock.
I
heard it looked bad.
The CGI on that was some of the worst I've ever seen. I mean, it literally looked like silly. He was made out of silly
like,
putty. It
I'm
was
trying to remember if I've seen that.
Yeah, I never. It just looked bad to me.
shiny plastic silly putty.
No, you know what's a really bad CGI was the Langoliers. No, was it?
Which one?
It was a Stephen King movie. The Langoliers.
The Langoliers.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I saw it.
Yeah.
It was
If
bad.
I'm going back to that question about bad horror movie,
that one was bad.
that is a bad horror movie.
Well, we know Stephen King has done some. I mean,
He's done some stinkers.
Because he did Maximum Overdrive, a movie that he directed. I think that was his first directorial debut, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe his first feature. I mean, look, he's a fantastic writer, but that movie wasn't good. It had high hopes. I remember seeing the trailer for it, and it looked really good.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, and I think I'm right on this, their campaign for Maximum Overdrive was Stephen King. He was sitting in a chair. I don't know. He said something about, "I'm gonna scare the hell out of you," and it was very effective because I went and saw it.
Right.
He didn't scare the hell out of me.
Right.
It was pretty boring. There was a couple parts that were decent. Emilio Estevez is in it.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
But as a whole, movie kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But I mean, look. He writes fantastic books. I don't read any of them because I don't like reading.
Right.
But I mean, but anyways, that's I guess our.
So, okay. So what happens after that? Did they?
Okay. So kitchen scene. I think they head over to the neighbors to talk to the neighbors. I don't remember their names.
Yeah.
This scene was weird to me. I think I read that there was some other scene that was supposed to like take place with it, and it made more sense. But I think Steven Spielberg got in some sort of fight with either Pizza Hut or Straw Hat. I know this sounds weird. This sounds really weird, but it was supposed to like make more sense. Like they were gonna. I don't know if they were gonna have like some pizza, something with pizza delivered. I don't know, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but I swore I read that. Because when they go over to the neighbors, they seem very odd. Like they just smoked a big fatty again, and just none of it made sense. Like I get it, you want to know if anything weird is happening in your house, but it was the way they were interacting with them.
To me, what I took away from that, the way they were interacting with the neighbors, was that they were awkward. They were awkward because of all this weird going on, and it's like you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, especially in the 80s. When everything is excess and everything is like, I've got the shinier this and the better that. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and the last thing you want to do is to, you're projecting your shiny plastic self to the world. Okay, that includes your neighbors.
True.
Okay, so when you go over there and you start talking to your damn neighbors in the 80s about weird shit happening, with Carol Ann's like sliding across it, and there's all this, chairs or like, you're gonna sound like a kook.
Yes,
you know what I mean. And so they are acting awkward because so hey guys, has anything weird kind of happened over your house lately? They're unsure. They don't know exactly how they should be wording this, and how much information they should give and not give, and then of course it's so awkward. Then they're one of those nervous type that starts laughing because they're nervous.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was uncomfortable. It was like way uncomfortable.
I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that's how I took it.
Okay, I guess I could see that. I mean, they are this. Maybe they're very well known. Maybe neighbors, except for the one neighbor. I mean, he's the one that sold almost all the homes in this neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean,
so maybe
people,
maybe they got a reputation. People look up to them. They're established, minus the neighbor right next door who they don't.
Come on, man. They live in phase 1.
Phase 1, number 1, man.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I could see that. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I still would like to know the Pizza Hut or Straw Hat thing. I think it was Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
I don't know. Another person they were probably going to plug in, and maybe just they didn't give Spielberg enough money. So he's like, I'm not putting Pizza Hut in here.
Yeah. Well, so then I thought it was after that they jumped right to
The storm and the boy getting snatched up by the tree, was that night? Because I don't think there's a lot of stuff that's happening in between then. I think it's like storm is hit.
Yeah.
We already know the boy is freaked out, and
that's right.
because he's counting and it's starting to get closer and closer.
Because what was the scene where Carol Ann, I think it was that night that we're talking about when the boy gets snatched up by the tree. It's once again middle of the night. TV is on. There's static. There's snow. She gets up. She goes over there, and didn't that like hand, the wispy hand, come out of the TV?
That might have been the night before, because she says they're here, which is an iconic. You know.
Was that the night
because
before?
because the mom goes, "Hey, honey, what did you mean by they're
That's
here?"
right.
And she says like the TV people or something.
Yeah. Well,
it's hard, man, to remember every scene.
It is. Shoot. All right. So then I guess then that storm happens, and instead of the storm going further away, every time they counted, they kept getting closer.
It got closer.
You know what's funny about the counting thing? I would, since that movie, I would do the same thing if I heard a thunderstorm.
I never did that. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Oh yeah.
It's
Makes
because of that
sense,
movie. Right? I started doing that myself.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna start doing it. Now I'm gonna start doing it.
So then the stupid tree comes to life. I didn't like this.
I didn't like this either.
I didn't understand the reason for it, but to me, it.
I mean, I kind of get why it happened.
No, here's my problem with it.
Okay, explain.
Here is my problem with it. When you're dealing with paranormal events, right? Okay, things sliding across the floor, chairs being stacked up. Obviously later on, that room gets completely poltergeist. There's everything flying around in there, right?
True.
Okay. That's one thing. But to completely animate a tree, it takes it to a place where it's no longer a paranormal event, in my opinion. Now we're talking about like tree possession or something, some weird thing where it's like, okay, seriously, this tree has now come to life and has literally pulled this kid out.
It's almost eating them. It
really
was goofy. It was kind of goofy to me.
That's not paranormal.
Do you think they couldn't think of other?
That's monster. Is what that is.
Do you think like they weren't sure how to get Carol Ann into the closet with the storm and everything, and this is the route they went?
I think, yeah, probably.
Or is it simply because Spielberg didn't like trees, and hey, we're going to figure out a way to get a tree?
No, I think about it. I mean, they were trying to ensure that the family was elsewhere,
yes,
like not in the house when this occurred, when she got sucked into the closet. They're trying to establish, how do you get this entire family out there? Well, okay, so maybe something happens to this boy, to the son, gets them outside. Now they got to go run out there in the middle of the storm and pull this kid out of the gaping maw of this tree.
Dude, and the eldest was still up in her room.
Yeah,
dude, she literally didn't help at all.
That's because she's a biatch.
She was just like checking the blinds. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
It's just a tree eating him. He's okay.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
so that's what I think.
Yeah,
and
it had to.
And then they thought, well, how can we do this? Okay, we established this tree already that, it's like this guardian. Well, now it's not a guardian. Obviously, it's now an evil thing. And okay, great.
I really do have to agree with you. I thought it was very misplaced.
Very misplaced.
Yeah.
Horribly done. Yeah. I hated it. I wish that this never existed in this movie. They could have come up with a million different ways of dealing with this. And
I agree. It
silly
was
sauce to me.
It's the one thing I think that kind of stood out for me.
Yeah.
Because everything else is fantastic. But it's like, yeah.
So they run around in the house after all this is done. They pull the kid out of the tree maw.
The tree monster.
Yeah. And, they're running around up there. They're trying to find her, and they're like, oh, the closet, and they go in the closet,
Introduce the clown.
And then the clown again. Yeah.
They hear her.
Well, not at that time. They didn't.
I thought they had heard something.
No.
Is it just when Robbie hears?
Yeah. So they did not hear it at that point. They're in the closet. They're digging through the stuff. they think it's because it's like there's like covers over what looks like it would be a kid under there, and it turns out to be the clown.
Yeah.
Then the mom is like had that realization, the pool.
That's right. Where Steve jumps into the pool.
He jumps in, he's looking around or whatever. And then eventually when they make their way back into the house, that's where Robbie's in there and he's hearing her like, you know.
Okay. So I loved this part. And let me tell you why. The way Robbie was yelling.
Yeah.
That seemed real. Okay. I'll tell you guys, I occasionally will have a nightmare. I can't tell you what it's about. All I know is that I feel like I'm halfway awake. And I'm paralyzed in my bed and I'm yelling and I can hear myself yell and it sounds just like that. So that really resonated with me, dude. It felt so real for me.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I'm not kidding you. Like I've heard myself where I'm halfway awake in bed and I'm froze. Like I can't move. And like almost like someone has injected me with something and I can't move, or it scared me so much that I've paralyzed myself. And I go to yell and it's that yell. Mm-hmm. And it just I don't know, man.
It's an anxious yell.
It seems so real to me. So like I loved this. Like I never caught it before, but it was like it felt so damn real when he was doing this.
Yeah.
You know. Yep. So yeah.
That was good. Props to that kid.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because just like that's got to be hard to do, man.
Yeah, for sure.
You know. Anyway, so he hears Carol Ann. I almost want to call her Mary Ann. thinking of Gilligan's Island or
goes
something.
Running down the stairs.
He hears Carol Ann in the TV, and of course, yeah. I mean, she's stuck in I don't know the TV.
Yeah,
this other world.
It's cool effect. I love that the reverse reverb effect that they have with her voice. That's cool.
Did we hear that in any other movie before that? I wonder if we had.
I don't think so.
That's a great little, you know.
Yeah.
And then so now we get like this scene where I think Steve is now, and tell me if I'm wrong, he's talking with these paranormal investigators.
Well, both of them are.
Is Diane there?
Absolutely.
I thought it was Steve first. Do you remember, Jen?
I don't remember.
Shit, I just watched it this morning.
No, I'm certain that you're
okay.
Both.
So yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. So they're both there. They both look like. I mean, Steve really looks like shit.
Oh yeah.
You know, he definitely looks like shit.
Oh yeah, you're right. They were both there.
They were both there.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I just couldn't remember because I thought they were like somewhere not in the home, and like maybe at the college or something, and they're explaining to them. Or I thought it was just Steve, but I guess it was both.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure
it was both. Okay, all right. So, anyways, they're, you know, I didn't really get the idea that they were skeptical. I mean, I'm sure they get a lot of quacks, right? That say their places, you know,
they believe. Globally, like they believe in the existence of this stuff, but to your point, yeah, they probably sift through all manner of you know, people who call in and then they go and investigate. It turns out to be nothing.
Yeah,
you know, so they've got that sort of like, oh, okay, well,
yeah,
but, you know,
yeah. But I mean, you know, what triggered them to get to the house? It's just, hey, we got to go check this out for ourselves.
They were to investigate it.
Yeah.
That was it.
And then it didn't take them long.
Well, no, I mean, because what cracked this is the funny when they go upstairs and the one researcher, Marty, yeah. He was the one who got his face peeled.
Yeah. Marty.
No, the other guy.
Ryan. I think it's Ryan.
Yeah. When he's like, they're talking about like this, you know, like this one case,
dude, I was rolling. Oh my God.
Where it was like a toy. It took 7 hours.
Like a truck or something.
Yeah, it took 7 hours to, you know, and it just cracked me up.
Steve's like, dude, I got some shit.
Yeah, he goes, oh yeah. All right. And they open up the door and there it is.
Dude, everything's moving around.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot. Yeah, that part is fantastic, dude.
And then I love, like, you know, like immediately after the next scene they cut to the redheaded woman.
Yeah, Dr. Lash or something.
Shaking.
Oh, yes. Scared out of her wits.
Totally, man. That's a normal reaction. I think I'd be shitting my pants, man.
Yeah. I'd be building those cabins,
dude. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, what other proofs do you need, right?
Yeah, it was just so funny. He's 7 hours, huh? 7 hours. Is
Yeah, you can't really see it. It's, you
Yeah.
know, if you do it really slow,
You have to
can-
speed it up.
Yeah, that part's great. So they're moving in, right? Right? They're the paranormal investigators are like, hey, we're gonna set up shop here. I think I think the eldest, like, she's gone, dude. She's over at Friends. This is where I just felt like she wasn't necessary. Like, we barely see her. What did she like? I mean, what role did she, other than being the big sister who was useless, did nothing to help the family? Why is she even in this? Like,
to me, she was a color ad. In other words, she was there to provide color to a typical 80s family where, you know, okay, so 80s teenagers is Generation X, and Generation X is the original latchkey kids. Both parents worked. Kid went to school. Kid came home. Kid did their thing, and you know, oftentimes parents would barely even see their kids. You know, that's just the way that lifestyle was. So she was a typical 16-year-old girl that, you know, ghosted every chance she could get. You know, and of course, obviously, in this particular case, she just couldn't handle any of it.
She couldn't handle it. I did get that feeling with this family. They were a tight-knit family. Like, you felt for every single one of them. Like, Steve truly loved, Diane. And even though, you know, brothers and sisters fight, you know, Robbie truly, you know, it's like you know, there was, I never doubted for a second this was like this. Understand, though, that close, tight-knit, you know.
Right. But understand that you're talking about, you know, they got the 3 kids, right? The 2, the son and Carol Ann, they're close in age.
They were, yeah.
Okay. They're kids. All right. The other one is a straight up teenager, man,
16,
with all that 80s angst, you know, underlying angst.
Dana, 16. So she's like twice the age as probably what Robbie was. Man, Robbie's probably 8 or something.
Right. You know what I mean? So, I mean, she just, you know, wasn't quite as to me, she was just typical 6-year-old, but I like her anyways, because I just felt when shit went down in that house, you know, I don't care what, I don't care what decade it is. I don't care, you know, what boyfriend you want to go see or friends you want to go see, or what your status is like, what you're doing. I don't give a shit. When shit is spinning around and floating around and there's paranormal, we got some paranormal shit up in there. You're gonna stick with your family and you're gonna make sure your family's okay. So she was a biatch. Sorry.
She was. I mean, it's tragic what happened to her outside of, you know, months later. That's tragic.
Yeah,
but that has nothing to do
in real life. No, I have nothing.
No, I'm talking for. I don't want people to get the wrong impression.
No,
we're sympathetic to that.
No, of course.
Tell us how you really feel.
I think people know we're talking about the characters.
You know, you never know. But so I mean, she's kind of gone, and the paranormal investigators are now, like you said, set up shop. Yeah. And they're monitoring everything. And there's no shortage of stuff that's happening in this home.
Yeah, because like, wasn't it like that evening it's all set up, and wasn't that when Marty he goes, he's like, because he's out of his Fritos or his Cheetos. The Cheetos.
Yeah, I remember his Cheetos.
Yeah, that's right.
It was right in our face, and then he went to the Ritz.
That's right.
And then he went to who throws a piece of chicken not wrapped into a fridge and then throws a steak in there with no wrap?
I was gonna point that out too.
Who even cooks a steak in the middle of the night like that?
Like 3 o'clock.
It's like the old 96er on, like swinging from a meat hook.
Seriously?
That thing was huge.
And then he just plops it, just not on a plate, just right on the counter.
On the counter. It's
ew.
Like, ew. Gross.
Yeah, what the fuck was he going to do? He wasn't going to go barbecue. Was he just broil that thing?
Yeah, he pulled out a pan.
Did he? Okay.
No, he
He's just going to fry that sucker?
Fry that
Probably.
thing in the middle of the night. Some big-ass old 96er steak.
80 style. I noticed that with a lot of those movies, though. They'll have like, you know, someone will be raiding the fridge and there just so happens to be a plate of just open, exposed meat there that they just grab, stick in their mouth.
Did that happen when we were kids?
That's
Because
what
I sure in hell don't remember that.
Did that happen with you?
That never happened with me.
No. Yeah, I don't remember that.
I don't remember, dude. I remember Tupperware.
Oh, they did it so that they can have their maggot effect.
Yeah, the maggot effect.
No, but at least pull it out of a container.
That's
it's
true.
Just sitting,
It's
just sitting there freely.
So weird.
Yeah,
at
it
least
was
put
weird.
tinfoil over it.
Anything.
Good Lord.
Something.
Anything. have it on a plate in the refrigerator at the very least.
Right.
Pull the plate out, put the plate with the big steak on the counter. It just have this.
It was
Just have this like steak free balling it in the damn refrigerator. It just seems so weird to me.
Seriously. And then he just went to help himself. Like, who the hell does that?
Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm going to go get something to eat.
Just help yourself, bro. Yeah, go ahead and eat our shit.
It's understandable to go in there and eat your one Ritz cracker, but when you're going to help yourself to the entire.
Yeah, you got to get that Ritz money.
That was dinner for tomorrow.
Yeah, man. I mean, these are cool scenes, though, man. I mean, the exploding steak. This is nasty. The mat, all the shit on the piece of chicken.
So when he goes into the bathroom, I have to be honest with you that this is one moment when practical effects failed for me. I thought that whole scene was ridiculous. The way he looked it was very clear that it was a prop head.
Okay,
right.
So originally when I saw this, it was fucking awesome.
Oh, well, yeah.
It scared the shit out of me rewatching it this morning.
I mean, you're viewing it through the prism of adulthood.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But what was the point, though?
I didn't get it either. I didn't get it either. To fuck with his head?
Some cool,
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Like,
because if you think about it, after all this happened, he bounced.
He did.
So
He did. He totally did.
The ghosts did their job.
Yeah,
man.
they're trying to get him out of the house.
Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, so now this reminds me of Beetlejuice.
Shit.
Nobody says B word.
Beetlejuice.
I read that the cost of doing that effect was astronomical. So the hands are Steven Spielberg's.
Oh Jesus!
So because it needed to be, it only could be done in one take.
Yeah.
So he didn't want some scrubbed assistant screwing up the take and not ripping it right. So that's Steven Spielberg's hands, from what I read.
Wow.
Yeah, but it didn't look like it. Still is cool. Like, it's fucking gross, but yeah, it didn't look as cool as it did in 1982.
Thank you for that, Jen, because that is exactly the whole point. Is that these things are trying to drive them out? Like, and they're just sort of trying to pick them apart one by one, and they succeed with him.
They got Marty, but
sure.
Ryan and the doctor was, In fact, she went and got reinforcements.
Yeah, she did.
What's her name? Tangina?
This house is
clean. Oh my god!
Is it Tangina? Is that how she pronounces it?
I think so.
Yeah, she's this. I mean, we had seen her.
We talked about similarities like on Insidious.
Absolutely.
What was her name in Insidious?
Oh,
the medium.
I forget.
Yeah, we did. But dude, Insidious is they borrowed a lot of stuff from Poltergeist. There's no doubt about it.
Because it's like finally like somebody who actually knows their shit, knows what the hell's going on, and so it gives you a sort of a a little calm within the storm, know. So that's good.
She's very kind of larger than life, right? This little tiny woman,
sarcastic.
She cracks me up. Yeah,
he's all like trying to I'm answering her in my mind.
What did she say?
I am speaking to the living.
What did she say? She goes, "I did hear you," or something.
It was something to the effect. I just chose not to answer. Like, bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great though, man. I mean, I remember seeing her in a ton of stuff in the 80s. Like, she's just that small little. You're gonna remember her, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But she's great in this. And this. Look, I mean, she has to do her thing and walk about the house, and I feel like the what is it that the main part of the house is in the closet? Well, no shit. We know it's in the closet.
Yeah.
You saw all the shit floating around in the bedroom. Yeah. We know it's there, but she's got to do her due diligence. And,
I loved how, so she, she comes down, she sits with him, she's talking with him, and she's like, I think she's talking to the mom.
Yeah. Diane. Yeah.
And, explaining how, what's going down on this thing. And I think she made a comment about like, do you promise to do everything I tell you, no matter if it goes against your Christian beliefs and that whole thing. And I thought that was kind of I don't know. It was effective because, my own mother-in-law, is into that kind of medium stuff. I've heard her say stuff like that. Now, I don't know if she lifted it from Poltergeist or not, but
Probably.
yeah, but I've heard her say that.
Yeah, similar stuff.
Yeah,
Add some credibility to.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Jen, maybe you can chime in on the whole Christian angle of it. Like,
I got nothing.
would somebody who's Christian have to be told, like, this is going to go against them beliefs, so you need to, because there seemed to be an importance there that I don't know.
Yeah, I guess at what point do you throw like certain things out the window because you have no explanation for it?
Well, growing up, especially people like my dad who would just say, "Oh, God's in control of everything,"
Mhm.
So I just have the one faith that God's going to do this, and that's it. That's the final answer.
So then, like so then, like if we were to put him in this hypothetical situation where everything is flying around in his house, he would choose not to act because his faith is telling him that this is all part of God's plan, and that
Really?
God's going to sort out our child who's been sucked into a TV. Like
Yeah.
Really?
interesting.
Man,
So
he
then
sticks with that, huh?
Well, so then when you think about that, I mean, if that is what the mess are trying to come across on what she's saying, then it makes sense why she would say, "Are
Sure.
you willing to do anything
Yeah.
I tell you to do, even if it goes against your Christian beliefs?"
True.
Like,
True. Yeah. Wow. I wasn't raised in any sort of religion.
Because what
We've
I'm
talked-
hearing, what I'm hearing is it's an inaction, and everything that occurred after that was very much they had to act.
yes.
They had to
Yes.
all act. They had to there was no wallflowering and
No,
you know what I
no.
mean? So maybe the Christian thing to do would in a situation like that would have been to just it's in
Leave
God's
it in the
hands.
hands of God. Yeah. That's
It'll
what
play
their
out how it's
answer.
supposed to play out, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, no,
man.
I mean it makes sense to me.
I
Like
can't wrap my head around stuff like that. Now I'm not religious. I didn't go to church. I did go to church for a little bit, but it was more so what weirded me out was the baptism stuff, which we've talked about.
Yeah.
It's hard for me because I didn't do that stuff to have that mindset that I'm going to just, oh, God will figure this out. I can't think that way. And
Mhm.
you guys both were brought up a certain way, and I mean, I get
You
it.
can say it.
Well, no, I mean,
we were raised up religious and then
then
Yeah.
you I don't want to use, no, I won't say what I was going to say because I don't want to offend anyone because everyone's entitled to believe what they believe, and that's cool. I mean, I just wasn't raised that way, and I don't have those beliefs. So,
Yeah. I absolutely, I mean, and I've tried to make it clear, when I've guested appearance on your podcast that I have nothing but respect for anybody's beliefs, and you know what I mean. I have my own beliefs now, and that's the beauty of this country, is that we can believe what we choose to believe, as long as you don't encroach on my beliefs. I won't encroach on yours, and we'll have a mutual respect. And
exactly. Now, do you go to church? Like
I don't go to church. No.
No, you don't do that anymore. So
no. Okay. I guess if you want my beliefs, I do believe that there's something out there, like a greater
sure, yeah,
power.
Mhm.
I don't know what that is or who that is. It's one of those things where I do believe in a higher power, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I've said that before. I don't know what form it. I don't know. There's something. I just don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
And I think that's at the root of what I was trying to say. And I think that's probably what people who grew up, hate to say it, but grew up having religion force fed to them. They either, there's two roads they go down. They either continue down that road for whatever the reasons. Maybe they wholeheartedly believe it over time or what have you. Or the other road is that they become old enough to start thinking on their own. And then they start to realize that, no, I mean, like their internal core beliefs are not in line and parallel with what they were being taught all those years, and then they deviate away, but there's always a core there. There's always like, there is an absolute belief that there's something out there. It's just, they're humble enough to say they don't know what that is, because no one truly does.
No.
That's the whole definition of the word faith.
Because, I mean, I don't want to get too away from what we're talking about. We're talking about a movie here, but, like, I guess there's different versions of Christianity too. Like it could be interpreted one way for one church, where it could be interpreted a different way, but we can't go to this church because they believe it this way, but this is the true way of believing in Christianity. I don't necessarily agree with that.
No, I disagree with that completely. I agree with what you did.
Yeah.
And
I feel like they're very hypocritical. The religion is so many hypocrites.
They can be.
Yeah.
They can be.
And to be fair, we're all sinners, but
yeah.
But I just never understood why one person's interpretation is wrong versus the other. We have interpreted something that was written by men.
Yeah.
So,
that's exactly correct.
Yeah. Oh man.
Written by flawed beings.
Yeah.
Like, for example, in the New Testament of the Bible, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they all tell the story of Jesus Christ, but they're all interpreted differently. But
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, I don't know, that term cafeteria Catholic. When I was a kid, that was like a big thing. And the whole idea of a cafeteria Catholic is you pick and choose what parts of that particular religion you want to follow.
Sure.
Right? This is at the root of the hypocrisy. Because it's like, you want to do your thing, you want to like come Miller time, you want to go and get your drink on or whatever. But maybe in Catholicism, I'm not saying that it is, but as an example, maybe that's frowned upon. Maybe you're not supposed to do that. So, well, that doesn't fit. That doesn't work for me because I want to get my drink on. So I'm going to slough that away. And then I'm going to pick this other thing, because that does work in my life, and so it's essentially you're in a cafeteria line with a buffet, and you're just picking and choosing whatever what works in your life.
Yeah.
And that's at the root of the hypocrisy, is that when confronted with a real question that, no, you're saying this, but you're doing this, what gives?
Yeah.
They won't answer that question because deep down they know they're hypocrites. They know.
Yeah, that's why I'm not, self-righteous or anything. I don't judge people. At least I try not to. But
there are a lot of people that do that.
Also, so the medium. Sorry, we went down this tangent. Right, so the medium. So she says that thing. I thought that was interesting because it was relevant.
Yes,
they had to act. They had to do some stuff. They had to mark up some tennis balls.
Mark up some tennis balls, right?
Right.
I know. What was the point? I could see one, and then what was the point of the second one? Just to make sure we got the right hole or something.
It was. To me, it was a big giant science experiment. That's what it was to me. So if you're going to, if you've got a theory that if you throw something into one hole and it comes out the other hole, well, you have to duplicate the experiment in order to make sure, verify that.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. I guess I could roll with that.
Yeah. So, they had 2 tennis balls, tennis ball 1, tennis ball 2. Tennis ball 1 is the first test. And all right, now let's go ahead and test that again. Make sure that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they both come out of the same hole.
We proved the theory
with gunk and gunk stuff on it. What is this stuff? What is this like?
Stuff? It was like
I don't know what this stuff is.
It was like the stuff that spam is like packed in.
Yeah.
It was goo.
It was like gooey, weird, like
gelatin.
It's supposed to convey that there'd been this other
maybe it was
thing.
You know what it felt like to me? It conveyed to me was birth.
Yes,
that's what I was going to say.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
It's all wet.
Yeah,
birthy,
chunky, weird shit. Yeah.
Went through that once.
I guess right. It's like, well, how else do you convey that you've been elsewhere? So let's throw all this weird, wet, gunky stuff on them or the balls first, and then the rope.
Which I think it's a cool idea that they did there, because obviously the closet was the entrance, piercing that veil to another place, right? And then there was obviously an exit hole. And so like conveying that as a birth, right? I mean, I think that was very appropriate. Like, you would think of piercing or going into or out of a different world, a different thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to
a rebirth of.
Yes.
Yeah. You know,
absolutely.
Now that you're saying it. Okay. Yeah. That sounds good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I could dig that.
To me, it was appropriate.
Not sure that was what they were doing, but
I think that is exactly what they were doing, because
they're smart.
Because
I picked that up too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lots of movies, I think, well, I don't know about before, but lots of movies after have conveyed,
Yeah, I like that.
Birthing material and wet,
gross,
for coming out of like another plane of existence and into a thing,
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, like Back to the Future didn't really do it that way.
Enter sound effect here.
Right.
I know.
DeLorean came out of it was just all cold.
It was just all cold.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There was no birthing. DeLorean wasn't all sopping wet with a bunch of gelatin.
It was frozen solid.
Right.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Shit. What do we got here? We got Tangina and Diane. I like this little scene where, Tangina's she's gonna go in there and no, I'm gonna go. No, I should go. Well, and then it didn't take a lot of convincing. Yeah, you go ahead. I'm good.
Yeah. And wasn't it because didn't one of them say, wasn't it the mom?
Well, you've never done this before. And you haven't done, I'm like,
but Carol Ann knows me. Like, I think that was what made the.
No, but I loved how Tangina was like, she didn't argue it at all.
Okay,
like, yeah, you're right. You go ahead.
Right. You want to go in there?
Fuck that. I'm not going in there.
Like, hello, it's not my kid.
What's that? They might. Yeah, she wasn't that old. I mean, have another daughter. I don't know.
I mean, right. Well, I mean, the mom came out of the other end of that thing with a little patch of her hair straight up white. Imagine what that would have happened to the medium.
Oh, I know.
Good Lord.
She may not have survived it. She may not have survived it.
What? No, you go.
Because she's the size of Carol Ann, right? So I don't know how she would have carried her.
Yeah, right.
She was tiny.
Hoisted up on her shoulders.
I don't know.
Totally.
But yeah, I mean, So I mean, they go through this, this whatever, and come out the other end. Some typical 80s effects here, right? This, when Steve's pulling too soon, and this, I mean,
the beast,
this beast thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it spanks of like Disneyland and Haunted Mansion to me. These types of ghosts.
Yeah,
right.
Very much so.
I'm just curious, like how long? Because I know George Lucas's Industrial Light and Magic did the special effects for this, so I just wonder, because it spanks of that. It looks like that.
It does.
So I'm just wondering. I don't know. We probably should look this. When did Haunted Mansion introduce those ghosts? How long are those ghosts in those scenes? Like when you're, it's like the dining room area and it's got the chandeliers and they're all dancing and doing. It always reminds me of that.
Yeah,
that effect is called Pepper's Ghost.
Pepper's Ghost.
Yeah, it's like this mirror. Essentially, they're shining it onto this mirror, and it's supposed to give a reflection of. It's supposed to look hologrammy, I guess.
Which
so
it does.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Really quick, and I think this might have been after, but it just popped in my head because of talking about the effects. There were a lot of, at least, so there was the dolly zoom where she's running down the hallway.
Yeah, I don't think that's a true. I know what you're talking about. I don't think that's a dolly zoom, but there's another name for that.
There was a zoom of.
What is it?
It's a Zolly.
It's a Zolly?
It's a Zolly zoom.
That's
what it's called, Zolly.
It is Zolly? So the dolly is the other the other.
That's why they call it. It's
because it's almost like the opposite.
Yeah,
of
it's a
it.
play on
Yeah.
words. It's
Yeah. Because
Dolly and Zoom.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Well,
I mean,
so
They call it a Zolly shot.
right.
Yeah.
So is there a dolly zoom effect and a Zolly, or is that we've all along thought it was called
no,
dolly
there
zoom?
is a dolly zoom.
Okay.
That's the one effect
So
we
the
talked
effect
about.
that we're talking about here in Poltergeist is a Zolly zoom.
Zolly zoom.
Got it.
So
where it feels like it's
stretching.
stretching. Which
Yeah.
how do they do that? That is an awesome
So-
effect.
Yeah, it is.
what they do is that they set a camera on a dolly and, in a sense, zoom the camera as they're pulling the dolly away.
See, now that sounds exactly like a dolly zoom.
No,
That's a
it's different.
Zolly.
It's a Zolly.
It's a Zolly shot.
Right, but that's exactly what they do when they do a dolly zoom effect.
No, it's different. It's a different. You can tell the two effects. They are definitely different.
Right. One of them is that it tends to be the camera is pointing towards the
And
subject,
it almost like zooms in,
like in Jaws.
in Jaws.
So that is where the camera is pointing at the subject. In this particular shot, they were pointing down a hallway.
yes,
But the effect is the same. It's
no, it felt different. Like the dolly zoom felt like it was almost getting closer where the Zolly. What is it?
so is it reverse? Is the only
it's almost
difference
like
is a reversal?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think the difference is whether you're zooming out and
Back
zoom pushing forward and zooming out,
or the other way.
or the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either
Alright.
way,
Either way.
that is it.
It's a great
Damn.
shot. It's a great shot.
It's a great shot. Yeah.
Okay. And then which came first?
Hmm.
When was Nightmare on Elm Street? What year did that come
Well,
out?
Elm Street would have been after because
Okay.
Poltergeist was 82 and Elm Street was 83 or 84.
So then
84?
Elm Street had to have gotten this from Poltergeist, because this is at least the first time I'd seen that effect when the mom goes up on she goes up onto the wall and then ends up on the ceiling.
Oh yes.
That is absolutely, I mean, like, Nightmare on
for
Elm Street completely took that.
Well, the only difference, yes, they
minus
the idea, absolutely. The only difference is in Poltergeist, it was a camera angle versus in Elm Street, they actually created a like a room.
Yeah, but I mean,
But the idea is
the
the same.
idea of
absolutely.
Somebody like getting kind of flung up onto the wall, and then
Yep.
they're trying to desperately to fight whatever's,
Yeah.
and then they end up on the ceiling, and then eventually they fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was just a creation of like a tunnel or something, right? Right? Am I correct?
He's talking about the bedroom.
I'm talking about not the.
He jumped ship from
I
the,
did. I'm
the
sorry.
hallway.
I moved on
to the
past
bedroom.
hallway.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. My bad.
But I love that. I've always loved that hallway scene. God damn,
Yeah.
because you feel for her. She's trying to get her kids, and
Totally.
it's like,
Well, it's that feeling you have when it's like, you're desperate to get to somebody, and it's like, Jesus Christ, am I ever going to get there?
yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah. Now, so we left out the part. Now, this comes into play here real soon. Is when Steve meets with his boss. I think this is Ben.
Yeah.
And they're overlooking, the little area.
He said he had a flu.
Yeah.
And he's like,
And he's been sick, but hey, let's go take a drive. And he takes him up to on this hill, and he shows him this is the new phase. And then of course we see all we see the cemetery, the tombstones and stuff. And then he talks about, hey, we've done, we're going to move these,
Yeah.
and no, we've done it before. And you could tell Steve is a little,
Right.
And as we get closer to the end here, this definitely comes into play.
Yeah.
Because, we know, Diana's gotten Carol Ann. They come through this hole. And they're moving.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, man. If this was you and all this shit transpired, would you even let your family back in that house?
No.
No.
Yes.
You would?
No, I'm kidding. No, I wouldn't.
I would. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not too attached to all this stuff. I can get new stuff. I'm definitely not having my family back in this.
Absolutely
and
not.
I'm not going to the office because I got stuff to take care of. right? I'm going to
Yeah.
leave my wife and the 2 kids because the oldest is gone, of course, because she's always gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, that isn't happening. Not happening. Yeah, I'm just not letting my family back in, man.
No way.
No, I'm going to go put them
No.
up at I don't know, a Holiday Inn, I think is what we see at the end. I don't know.
You know what cracked me up was the dog. Do
Oh.
you remember when the taxi?
Oh, yeah. The dog hopped in.
Because they sent the son away. I think with
Yeah, Robbie did to the grandparents.
to the grandparents, and the dog's like sitting there, and the dog
Yeah.
looks back.
Yeah,
He's
he's
like, "Yeah, well, I'm going."
yeah, this shit is freaky. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Smart dog.
totally.
But I mean, I don't know, man. It's a movie. What are you gonna do? I mean, so mom and the kids are there. This shit isn't okay. It's still bad, man.
Yeah, doesn't he go into? He goes into work or something, and
Yeah, he
she
goes into the
in,
office while she
goes and takes a bath.
takes a bath, and Robbie and Carol Ann are in the bedroom, and he gets freaked out by the clown, throws something over the clown, and
That's when the clown comes alive.
Yeah, and attacks him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that clown. I don't even know why a kid would want to hang on to that. Or maybe it was given to them by their Aunt Ethel, and they were just
Could be
too sentimental to get rid of it.
handmade it and sent it to them as a Christmas gift, and they have to keep it. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like
Yeah.
Ralphie in the
Right, and the bunny suit.
Yeah, maybe it's possible, right? But anyways, man, she's going south again. It's not over with.
Nope.
So yeah, he gets at what point does she fall into the pool? Because she makes her way upstairs, but she ends up outside because she's trying to get help, and no one's helping her, especially those neighbors next door. They're not willing to help her, and she slips into the pool where we see all the skeletons and stuff.
I don't know what made
It's
her.
right around this
It
time.
is. I
But
know
she,
it for sure.
Yeah, she gets out. She keeps falling into this thing, and then she makes her way up, and she gets the kids. She gets the kids at this point because they're almost getting sucked back into the closet.
Yeah.
And so she gets them. She has Carol Ann and Robbie's, following, and then Steve pulls up with Ben, and all these, dude, all these caskets are popping up everywhere.
Oh my God.
And then you realize, Steve's like, dude, you fucking asshole.
You didn't move the bodies.
You moved the
the headstones, but you didn't.
my God.
You
I
know?
heard. I don't know if this is true, but I read that those were real skeletons, real corpses.
I've heard that too, and that's why that's why they say there's a curse on the poltergeist, because they used actual real
How did
corpses.
they even get permission to do something like that?
I don't know. I've watched documentaries where people say, no, that's not true. I worked on the movie.
Almost
If there
seems-
was real skeletons, I would know. And then other people say, yeah, no, there was.
You just had a bunch in the closet. They
So,
just decided to pull
I
them
don't
out.
know,
Skeletons in
man.
the closet.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like, it's like the whole, how much did Tobe Hooper direct and how much did Spielberg direct and where it's all these little,
Yeah.
it's like those, I don't know if you've seen I think it's on Shudder. It's like cursed films, and it talks, Poltergeist is one of them.
I just don't know how they even, was OSHA even around back then?
I doubt it.
I don't know.
How would they even have gotten that past OSHA?
I don't know. I don't know.
Can you
if it's
imagine
true.
the smell?
I know, right? Seriously.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I don't know. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just an urban legend and there's no truth to it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah.
I don't know. They make their way out of the house, right? Finally,
Mm-hmm. So,
and they bounce, and this house gets.
I thought that was a really cool effect.
It is a cool effect.
The house basically just collapses in on itself and gets sucked into the hole.
Sucked into the hole. A lot of holes in this film. People are gonna get bits and pieces and think we're talking porn here.
House number 1. Let's go for house number 2. We got to verify the experiment.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, it is a cool effect, man.
I thought it was well
And
done.
then shit
for
started-
back in the
yeah.
80s.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Early
Dude,
80s.
there were some great effects in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then the neighborhood's starting to kind of go to the shits, man, because it's happening,
And finally, neighbors are actually out looking around going,
Yeah.
whoa, I guess something is actually happening over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they make their way, they're gone, dude. And then I think this is when they make it to the Holiday Inn.
They do. Yeah.
Another big, plug.
Yeah.
I'm sure Holiday Inn threw all kinds of money at Spielberg.
That's the grand finale.
Yes.
Products placement.
Holiday Inn.
And then, they ditch the TV.
They'd roll that's a great part. They roll the TV outside, you know.
Comedic effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family's been through hell and back.
Totally.
So that's it. That's Poltergeist, man.
It is. Yeah. I mean, there's little bits and pieces in there, but we need to.
No, we didn't go over everything.
Still a great movie, though.
Still a great
It
movie.
is. I actually love the
No,
movie.
it's still a fantastic
I know that we
movie.
kind of.
I know. We probably did. If people are listening, we really love this movie. But but we're not going to just sit here and say all the stuff we loved.
Yeah,
we got to talk shit about other stuff, and then we go down rabbit holes because we're like Alice, and So yeah. But anyways, I think that's it. I don't know. Do we hit on everything? Is there anything?
No.
I think I touched on everything.
I think we did.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did.
It's good.
Cool. I guess that's it for Jen. Thanks for heading on out and talking Poltergeist with us. We appreciate it. I think you're going to be joining us next week. We're going to be talking about Trick or Treat. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah. So anyways, thanks again, everyone. Stay safe.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Thanks again for listening. Make sure you tell everyone about our Ear for Fear podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Ear for Fear. You can also check out our website, earforfear.com. There you can keep up to date on news, events, and episodes. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. We hope you come back and get an earful.